This is an MJA Inc. Investigations warning. This MJA podcast is rated E for explicit. Some details of a case and language used on this podcast might be upsetting to some of our listeners. Listeners' discretion is advised. And for those who are still with us, kick back and enjoy the show. When there is an ending, there was a beginning. Every victim has a picture to paint. Every true crime has its time and place. Please join our MJ podcast, the series Deep into the Woods, Missing Persons, Unsolved Crimes, and the Does. Welcome to our MJ podcast, this series, Deep into the Woods, Episode 15, Part 6, 6 New Jersey Missing Person Cases. In today's world, families face the pressures of just being safe and living a normal life. Now let's add that families who have a missing family member, everything changes for the families just trying to live a sound and normal life. They see the world in a different light and wonder how they got to this point. People go missing every day for various reasons, and 90% of the time the reasons aren't very good to think about. When a family member goes missing, it has other family members rethinking the world we live in and their values and morals. Sometimes it destroys the whole family's makeup that they never recover. Good evening, my name is Mark, and I will be your host for tonight's show. Joining me later will be our co-host, Olivia. We are coming to you from Morrisonville, New York, located in the Adirondack Mountains. Olivia and I will profile 6 missing person cases from the state of New Jersey. We will profile 3 missing males and 3 missing females. Welcome to New Jersey. The Doe Network has 38 males listed as missing from the state of New Jersey. The Doe Network has 60 females listed as missing from the state of New Jersey. Case 1. On August 28, 1973, 21-year-old Alan Carl Warner, a white male, went missing from North Wildwood, New Jersey. Case 2. On June 26, 1973, 19-year-old Jan Andre Coda, a white female, went missing from Wall Township, New Jersey. Case 3. On August 7, 1983, 69-year-old John E. Warren, a white male, went missing from Toms River, New Jersey. Case 4. On September 12, 1982, 40-year-old Lola Carney, a white female, went missing from Clarksboro, New Jersey. Case 5. On February 24, 1996, 58-year-old Frank L. Black, a white male, went missing from Newark, New Jersey. Case 6. On February 22, 1991, 32-year-old Yetta Sharon Rosenthal, a white female, went missing from Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Let's take a pause for the cause, and when we return, Olivia will be on the line, and we will profile 6 missing person cases from the state of New Jersey. Be back in a moment. Welcome to our MJ podcast, this series, Deep into the Woods, episode 15, part 6. 6 New Jersey missing person cases. We have Olivia on the line. How are you doing on this fine evening?
I'm doing well.
Are you ready to dig into these unsolved mysteries?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Case 1. Welcome to North Wildwood, New Jersey. It was August 28, 1973, when 21-year-old Alan Carl Warner, a white male, vanished without a trace from North Wildwood, New Jersey. Warner was last seen by members of the North Wildwood Police Department on August 27, 1973. On August 28, 1973, a boat belonging to Warner's father was found adrift 2 miles off the Atlantic coast of Cape May County. Located within the boat were the personal effects and identification of Mr. Warner's. The 21-year-old Warner was about to begin his 4th year at the Philadelphia College of Pharmacy and Science, where he was training to be a pharmacist. Several days before his disappearance, Mr. Warner stated to family members that if he ever got into trouble with law enforcement, he would leave and not face it. Shortly before his disappearance, the 21-year-old Warner had been arrested for selling prescription drugs to an undercover officer. The arrest was out of character for the 21-year-old Warner. The offense was a minor one, and he had no prior arrests, so it's unlikely he would have been severely punished. However, a drug conviction would probably have kept him from pursuing his chosen career in pharmacy. Since Warner made the comment that if he ever got arrested, he would run, investigators looked into the possibility that he committed suicide or deliberately walked away from his life or met with foul play. But there is little evidence to support any of these theories. A skull that washed ashore in 2006 was originally thought to be Warner's, but DNA testing ruled out that possibility. Warner's missing person investigation was reopened at that time. The drug charge against him has since been dropped. The 21-year-old Warner has not been seen or heard from since August 27, 1973, and his remains have never been found. Warner's case remains unsolved. If you have any info concerning this case, please call the Cape May County Prosecutor's Office Major Crimes Unit at 609-465-1135.
Case 2. Welcome to Walt Township. On June 26, 1973, 19-year-old Jan Andre Cotta, a white female, vanished without a trace from Walt Township, New Jersey. The 19-year-old Cotta was last seen June 26, 1973, inside a Bontac house on her family's property in the Allenwood section of Walt Township, New Jersey. Cotta's brother and friends saw her sometime between 11:30 p.m. and midnight. A vehicle was heard driving away from the farm, and afterwards Cotta was discovered to be missing. The 19-year-old Cotta has never been heard from again. Cotta has 7 siblings, and she had won awards in writing competitions. Jan Cotta wasn't involved with drugs and didn't drink alcohol at the time of her disappearance. The identity of her unborn baby's father is unknown. Cotta wrote a letter to God before she went missing and referred to the baby's father, but she didn't mention his name. In the letter, the 19-year-old Cotta stated she was given 3 of her favorite horses to a friend. Authorities believe she left of her own accord, at least initially. In August 1973, a newborn baby was found abandoned in a mailbox on a horse farm in Jefferson Township, New Jersey. The farm belonged to the friend Cotta gave her horses to, and the baby was born around the same time Cotta's baby was due. Due to these circumstances, there was speculation that the child was hers, but DNA tests disproved this theory. Cotta's parents both died in the years following her disappearance, but her siblings are still searching for her. Jan Cotta's case remains unsolved. If you have any info concerning this case, please call the Walt Township Police Department at 732-449-4500.
Case 3. Welcome to Toms River, New Jersey. On August 7th, 1983, is when 69-year-old John E. Warren, a white male, vanished without a trace from Toms River, New Jersey. On that day, Warren told his wife he was going for a walk through the woods to Ocean City College and would be back in about an hour. Warren's wife, of 47 years, suggested he drive instead, but he said he wanted to walk. A security guard saw Warren on College Drive at 9:15 a.m., and he spoke to a jogger on Brokaw Boulevard at 9:50 a.m. The 69-year-old Warren never returned from his walk and has never been heard from again. Warren's wife became alarmed when he missed his 10 a.m. pool party and notified police of his disappearance at 11 a.m. Tracker dogs traced Warren's scent to a pond off of Hooper Avenue, then along the edge of the wooded area and roadway. But the dogs lost the scent about a mile from Ocean City College. Warren's wife found 2 sets of sneaker prints on the path that he would have taken. One set led towards the college, the other back towards their home. Warren had retired from his position as an associate professor of engineering at the Ocean County College 2 months prior to his disappearance. But Warren's employment at the college he had worked on as an engineer for Nash Controls and designed some machines used in military weaponry. There was suspicion that this work had led to his disappearance, but investigators found no evidence to support this theory. Authorities believe Warren disappeared under suspicious circumstances. John Warren's case remains unsolved. If you have any info concerning this case, please call the Toms River Police Department at 732-349-0150. Let's take a pause for the cause, and when we return, we will profile 3 more missing person cases from the state of New Jersey. Be back in a moment.
Searching in the dark, trusting every clue I found, but the truth has not been told. Cause every corner of these woods is hollow. I can't see the dark.
Welcome back to our MJ podcast, the series Deep into the Woods, episode 15, part 6, 6 New Jersey missing person cases.
Case 4. Welcome to Clarksboro, New Jersey. It was September 12, 1982, when 40-year-old Lola Carney, a white female, vanished without a trace from Clarksboro, New Jersey. Lola Carney was last seen in her home in the 200 block of Whiskey Mill Road in Clarksboro, New Jersey at 11 p.m. on September 12, 1982. George Carney, who is Lola's husband, told her 2 children that she left home in the middle of the night, claiming Lola had taken $17,000 and a handgun and would not return. George was her 4th husband and the father of her youngest child. The 40-year-old Carney left home driving a red 1973 Chevrolet Nova hatchback. Carney and the vehicle have not been seen again. The car did not belong to her, and it was her sister's. Lola Carney left her own car on an almost new Lincoln behind. George, her husband, refused to report his wife as missing, but Lola's sister finally did on January 3rd, 1983. Lola and George often argued, and before her disappearance, Lola told her sister she was thinking about moving out of George's home and filing for divorce. 40-year-old Lola Carney was very close to her children, and it would be uncharacteristic of her to leave them voluntarily for so long. Carney vanished the night before 2 of her children were due to start the new school year. George said Lola was having an affair with someone in September 1982. Lola had left her husband numerous times before, but she always took the children with her, and she always returned after a short time. Lola Carney has not renewed her driver's license or used a Social Security number since her disappearance. George later divorced Lola on grounds of desertion, and she was declared legally dead in 1990. Investigators bored through some concrete near Lola's house in 2004, but they found no evidence related to Carney's disappearance. Police believe Lola Carney is missing under suspicious circumstances and was probably murdered. If you have any info concerning this case, please call the East Greenwich Township Police Department at 856-423-4322 or 856-384-5500.
Case 5. Welcome to Newark, New Jersey. On February 24th, 1996, is when 58-year-old Frank L. Black, a white male, vanished without a trace from Newark, New Jersey. Black was last seen on February 24th, 1996, in Newark, New Jersey, where he boarded a Kiwi Airlines plane to fly to West Palm Beach, Florida. Black owned a school bus company, the Frank L. Black Bus Service. The 58-year-old Black was considering selling some of his buses to a client, which is the reason for his trip to Florida. Frank Black has never been heard from again. Investigators believe Black was murdered by one of his business rivals and former friends, Alan Mackerly. The two men become friends in their youth, but their relationship collapsed when Mackerly started his own rival bus company, the Byron Bus Line. The 58-year-old Black was not popular in the school bus community in the 1980s. Black would underbid competitors to gain control of their routes and allegedly committed many school district violations. In 1995 is when Black got a major contract instead of Mackerly, and Mackerly said he was going to bury him. In late February of 1996, Black began receiving telephone calls from a woman who called herself Mja Theme. She claimed Giordano. She claimed to be involved in the export business and wished to purchase 60 conversion vans from Black. She was willing to stay on hold on the phone for a long time rather than leave a callback number where Black's employees thought was odd behavior. Black had been planning to sell his business, but he decided to meet with this Giordano? No, for one last business deal before his retirement. Black vanished without a trace. Black's daughters, one of whom is married to a New Jersey state police detective, reported his disappearance after he failed to contact them once he reached Florida. Police investigating his disappearance examined the cell phone records and discovered that the calls from Mja Giordano were actually from Alan Mackerly and his mistress, Lisa Costello. Lisa Costello refused to cooperate with the investigation even after being jailed on contempt of court charges. The investigation got a break when Bill Anderson, one of Mackerly's closest friends, contacted authorities through his attorneys and said he had information on Black's disappearance. Anderson said that he had an arrangement with Mackerly where he would pilot Mackerly's plane for him and would also be allowed to use it for himself. One day, Mackerly asked Anderson to pilot the plane because he needed to look for something in the ocean. Mackerly said Black was missing and he thought he might be in the water. Anderson said he asked Mackerly if he had killed Black, and Mackerly allegedly replied that he had. Mackerly said Costello had met Black at the airport and taken him to Mackerly's home. Mackerly claimed he then shot Black in the head and wrapped the body in a tarp and dumped it in the ocean along with the gun. Anderson agreed to cooperate with the investigators and wore a recording device on his person to get Mackerly to confess again. Mackerly did not confess, but he was arrested and charged with murder anyway. While in jail in May 1997, Mackerly allegedly tried to hire cellmates to kill Anderson. Mackerly was charged with solicitation of murder but was never prosecuted. Anderson and his wife entered the Federal Witness Protection Program. Mackerly was convicted of Black's kidnapping and murder in Vero Beach, Florida in 1998. Costello, who admitted to bringing Black to Mackerly but was not present when the murder occurred, was also charged with kidnapping and murder. But Costello pleaded no contest to false imprisonment and manslaughter and received a 10-year sentence. Costello got credit for time served and was released from prison in 2004. In 2001, Mackerly's convictions was overturned on an appeal. An appeals court found that Black's disappearance did not meet the criteria for kidnapping because he traveled to Florida voluntarily. In Mackerly's second trial, the jury could not agree on a verdict and a mistrial was declared. Mackerly was tried a third time in 2003. He admitted to luring Black to Florida, but he said he did not intend to murder him and that Costello actually killed him in self-defense. Mackerly was convicted of murder on March 15th, 2003, and was sentenced to life in prison. Black's body has never been located, and neither has the alleged murder weapon. Foul play is suspected in the disappearance due to the circumstances involved. If you have any info concerning this case, please call the New Jersey State Police at 609-882-2000, extension 2894.
Case 6. Welcome to Cherry Hill, New Jersey. On February 22nd, 1991 is when 32-year-old Yetta Sharon Rosenthal, a white female, vanished without a trace from Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Rosenthal was last seen when she left her job at the Elwyn Institute on February 22nd, 1991. Rosenthal worked at a care facility for disabled individuals in Media, Pennsylvania. The 32-year-old Rosenthal worked as a behavioral management specialist at the facility, and she had moved to New Jersey from Canada to take this job. Rosenthal is known to have arrived at her apartment at Somerset Towers on Cooper Landing Road in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Her white Honda Prelude was found in the complex parking lot, and the front door of her apartment was found unlocked, and the Sunday newspaper was untouched. There were no indications of a disturbance inside. 32-year-old Yetta Sharon Rosenthal has never been heard from again. Authorities initially suspected Rosenthal had left of her own accord. Rosenthal was having financial problems and had borrowed expensively from relatives and was about to be evicted. However, her purse, keys, credit cards, identification, and work briefcase were all left behind. Rosenthal left her cat alone on her apartment balcony in the winter cold, which is uncharacteristic of her. Family never thought she left on her own. On Sunday, February 24th, 1991, a neighbor reported hearing a scream and bumping noises coming from Rosenthal's apartment at 3:45 a.m. 5 hours later, the neighbor heard Rosenthal's sliding glass door open and shut. Police began to look into the theory that she had been abducted and murdered. Charles E. Crazy Eddie Reddish, Jr. was a maintenance worker at her apartment complex in 1991. In 1995, Crazy Eddie had been charged with axe murder of his girlfriend and the rape of her teenage daughter, which was convicted in 1999. When he was arrested for that crime, he told police he had killed Rosenthal. According to Reddish, he broke into Rosenthal's apartment while she was asleep and was planning to simply burglarize it, but Rosenthal woke up and saw him. Crazy Eddie Reddish beat her and smothered her to death with a pillow, so she could not identify him. He then stole $80 from her purse and left the residence, leaving the body behind. A few days later, he returned and wrapped Rosenthal's body in a bedspread and put it in a shopping cart and transported it to the trunk of his girlfriend's car. Crazy Eddie dumped Rosenthal's corpse in a remote area off Route 130 in Salem County. In 1997, Crazy Eddie Reddish was charged with Rosenthal's murder. He reached a plea agreement with the prosecution and pleaded guilty to manslaughter. A deal was made if Reddish would lead the police to Rosenthal's remains. When Crazy Eddie refused to accompany authorities to the designated spot to assist them with the search, he was recharged with capital murder, and the case went to trial in 2001. Crazy Eddie Reddish was convicted and sentenced to death in 2002, but his sentence was commuted to 60 years in prison after the state of New Jersey abolished the death penalty. Crazy Eddie remains incarcerated. Foul play is suspected in Rosenthal's case due to the circumstances involved, and her body has never been found. If you have any info concerning this case, please call Cherry Hill Police Department at 856-665-1200.
Olivia, is there anything you would like to add to any of these cases?
Yeah, just on two of them. Well, the one in Newark, well, you couldn't say the name. That's a gray area. I have an idea of what might have happened to him because there's how do I get around this without? There's certain groups that rule certain areas. Do you understand where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And that's probably what happened to him because they also operate down in Florida in the area he was went to. As for the horse riding girl, I just find it a little odd. Now, Wall Township, these are all wealthy areas, most of these towns we spoke of tonight. That's a wealthy community down in South Jersey. And I find it odd that she goes up to Jefferson Township, which is the highest point in New Jersey. It's in Sussex County, which borders upstate New York and Pennsylvania. So I'm thinking she could be up in that area somewhere.
Okay.
What are your thoughts? What do you think?
Well, I thought it was a very strange case. For one thing, nobody seemed to know who the father was, and see, that was another mystery. Okay, couldn't
Well,
anybody?
I'm thinking of Jefferson Township. She knew those people. Maybe that father was up there.
Well, another thing is, wouldn't any of the family members realize she was spending time with a certain male more than usual?
Yeah.
And
she was 19.
So that's
once again, that's like it's a wealthy area, very wealthy area, and a lot of people there do have horses on their property.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like equestrian stuff going on down there. I think Bon Jovi even has a house down in Wall Township. I'm not sure, but it's just they're odd. They're all odd cases tonight, and this one, this Crazy Eddie. This is just that doesn't make sense either. It just and we did abolish the death penalty, which is a problem, but it's a lot of interesting cases tonight.
Okay. I want to thank Olivia for being on the show tonight. A special thanks to our viewers and listeners for tuning in, for y'all have been so kind. I have a quote for you all. We have to dare to be ourselves, however frightening or strange that self may prove to be. May Sarton. Always remember, folks, that if you ever get bored with nothing to do, well, take a walk deep into the woods. You might be surprised at what you might find. That's the end of our MJ podcast, this series, Deep into the Woods. This has been episode 15, part 6, 6 New Jersey missing person cases. We say to all of you, good night from Morrisonville, New York, located in the Adirondack Mountains.